Hey everyone! So we do have some JP news here, not exactly the newest news anymore, because it has been out for quite a bit now, but my internet has been out for quite a while when this news was released, so I'm only getting to making this video now. But we have the EZA info for TEQ Super Saiyan Trunks, as well as STR Zamasu. Pretty much everyone knew that these two were going to get their EZAs when we saw that the Physical Vegito Blue and AGL Rose EZAs were coming back, and they were going to sub-EZA with their medals, so that is exactly what happened. I did want Zamasu to EZA as well, or in place of STR Zamasu, because I thought him getting his EZA would have been amazing, but he was a newer unit and a better unit than STR Zamasu, so it's still cool though, and the fact of the matter is that these are banner units, and most people will probably have at least one copy of both of them, so there is an opportunity for everyone to use these EZAs pretty much. So that's cool. Let's hop into the Trunks EZA first, the one who I thought needed it the most, and looking at his EZA here, honestly, pretty damn good, considering the fact that he is a sub-EZA, and I think that's where the expectations of people were a little too high. You have to remember that these are sub-EZAs, they're not getting their own main EZA area or anything like that. So, you know, if you were expecting them to be super broken, I think your expectations were too high. But honestly, he's not bad at all. I don't think he's too bad at all. He has now raising defense for 6 turns on top of his raising attack previously, which is very good. He did need defense. He's also getting attack and defense plus 80% instead of just attack plus 80%. So he's getting defense from his passive, which is the biggest deal here. 80% attack when performing a super attack, plus an additional attack and defense plus 80% when only facing one enemy. So you're going to get a benefit from even just facing one enemy, which means that things like the Legendary Goku Event, Legendary Vegeta Event, GT Legendary Goku Event, he will have a bit more defense without really any RNG checks. It's just a straight up attack and defense plus 160% basically against one enemy. And then against multiple enemies, 2 or more enemies, he's getting defense plus 160% and medium chance of guarding all attacks. So Extreme Super Battle Road and Super Battle Road, he will have 240% defense with the full passive, and he will have a 30% chance of guarding all attacks. Now, a 30% chance of guarding all attacks is not that reliable. I would not say to put him in slot 1 or anything of that nature, but if he does super attack once or even twice, if he does get his stacks off from his from his super attack effects, then I would say, you know, it might be plausible to put him in slot 1, because then with like 240-ish K defense, he should have good enough defense to tank, even if you don't get that 30% chance to guard. Although it depends on the situation, obviously. So he's a flexible unit, pretty much going to be good in the gamut of events. You'll probably see better results with him in longer events, because in shorter events, his defense may not be reliable enough turn 1 to be able to tank, at least in slot 1. I mean, if he gets his guard off, then obviously he can tank, but a 30% chance, once again, is not that reliable. So it's going to be interesting to see how he performs in those Extreme Super Battle Road and Super Battle Road stages, but in longer content, I don't think he'll have an issue. His link's pretty decent, you know, kind of just the links that you would expect from a Trunks unit like this. And he's on quite a few categories. That's kind of a big deal. The fact that he's on what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's on a decent amount of categories, so pretty good. And as you can see here, he does use Vegito Blue's medals, the Physical Vegito Blue EZA medals. So you will need to do his EZA to get them. But if you've already done his EZA to get Vegito Blue EZA'd, then you shouldn't have a problem doing it again. So moving on to STR Zamasu. Now STR Zamasu here, actually, you know, he isn't that good either. He was never that good before his EZA, but he did have a tiny bit of utility with that HP recovery when your HP is 80% or below. So he did have that tiny bit, but with his EZA here, he now raises attack and defense for 1 turn. He still keeps his greatly lowering defense effect as well, which is actually relevant now because of his passive. But he also has attack and defense plus 60%, attack and defense plus 60%, and attacked enemies attack minus 30% when performing a super attack. That is actually quite interesting. The fact that he is going to be lowering enemy attack by 30% when supering, it's actually really good for Super Battle Road and Extreme Super Battle Road to have that effect. Lowering attack in those modes, or those events rather, is actually quite substantial of an effect. It can definitely help you out in some tough situations. So it's not like he's going to have it in a super attack effect, but technically it is. It's honestly weird. I don't know why they didn't just give him greatly lowering attack and defense or something like that. But it's a really interesting effect. Very good for, you know, events where you can lower enemy attack. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 60%. And recover 10% HP whenever HP is 90% or below. So that is extremely good. Whenever your HP is 90% or below, you get an additional 60% attack and defense and 10% HP recovery. So he'll always keep you topped up, basically. And that healing effect can be quite nice most of the time, although in a few situations, it can be counterproductive when you have units who have passives that want you to have lower than 100% HP, basically. But still, that's a very nice effect there to have that HP recovery. It can definitely add up, especially in Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, things like that, where your HP is really not going to be 100% most of the time. And then, plus an additional attack plus 60% when the target enemy is in attack down status, defense down status, stunned, or the target enemy super attack is sealed. Now that's going to be quite common unless you're in like an EZA or towards the end of a legendary event where the enemy can't be sealed, can't have attack or defense lowered, can't be stunned. But again, Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, he has the attack reduction effect from his passive. He greatly lowers enemy defense as well, so almost always you should see that attack plus 60% from that part of his passive as long as you super attack the enemy, and the enemy is able to take those debuffs. So, not that amazing of an EZA, but definitely a nice one. You know, gave him some utility, some usability, gave him some defense. Now he's able to recover HP when HP is 90% or below instead of 80% or below. So, he definitely did get a pretty big boost in power, but I feel like most people still think that this is an underwhelming EZA, that they're saying this is garbage. I don't think it's garbage whatsoever. Obviously, there are going to be better choices than him in the future, especially if something like EZA Zamasu gets his EZA. But for the meantime, this isn't a bad EZA. For a lot of players, especially those newer players, or players who don't have the best boxes in the world, they will have this unit most likely due to him being a banner unit. And same thing with this Trunks. You know, this Trunks is pretty good as well. I mean, not the best, but definitely not terrible anymore, so usable. A decent option, a good filler unit if you don't have a full team of like Realm of Gods, Patara, things like that. Or for Trunks' case, you know, Future Saga, Time Travelers, Vegeta's family. You know, if you're missing a good unit for those things, these units can fill slots on those teams, and they're not bad. Most players should have them, so honestly, I'm quite happy with these EZAs. Obviously, again, not the best, but definitely workable. Definitely way better than they were before, and I like their utility, especially the Trunks with his guard. And the fact that against one enemy, he has a buff, but against two enemies, he also has a buff. And it's actually a substantial buff against multiple enemies. A defense plus 160% is a lot better for Extreme Super Battle Road and Super Battle Road because turn 1 defense does matter in those events, right? So I like that. I like this Zamasu lowering the attack on super attack or for the attacked enemy. So I like that. It's definitely, they're not going to be the best options, especially for that difficult content like Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, but workable, usable units. And I think that's the case here. I think people who thought these two EZAs were going to be godly, or at least a lot better, like kind of really, really good, I think they just had too high expectations. Now, this Zamasu does EZA with the AGL Rosé medals from this EZA here. So again, this EZA may be a little more difficult than the Physical Vegito Blue EZA, but if you have done this EZA already, it should be no problem for you. But yeah, that's about it. Pretty good EZAs, pretty solid. This Zamasu, on not as many categories, but still on a few decent ones. Dragon Ball Seekers, Time Travelers, Future Saga, they got buffs, and they need buffs, especially Time Travelers and Future Saga. So that's pretty good. So GP players have this to look forward to as well. And I think that's about it. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.